We've got some trellises with air potatoes growing on them, which are these remarkable tubers that grow right on the vine. They taste fantastic. I've been eating them all week. Behind that we have bananas, which of course green bananas and plantains are wonderful vegetables, starchy vegetables. Macadamias, which don't need any introduction to most of us, I think. Behind that we have lychees, which is a wonderful fruit, more air potato, and then some guavas. So all in this area we have fruits, we have vegetables, we have carbohydrates and protein and oils and leafy crops. We've got really a complete diet all coming from perennial plants right in this one area, and that's what Las Cañadas is all about, is trying to find out how to meet all of their needs with perennial plants as much as possible. This is an area that we planted last year as part of an edible forest gardens course here at Las Cañadas. I'm a huge fan of these tire stairs. I think this is a great use of appropriate technology, and you know, it's always nice to walk by a great big load of bananas too, isn't it? So we're going to talk a little bit about raising bamboo for shoots, for the edible shoots, which is kind of different from raising it for bamboo. We'll take a look at some other bamboo types later, some timber management. This species is Bambusa oldhamii, which is one of my favorites and very popular here at Las Cañadas. As you can see, this one was just planted, so there's one shoot that kind of ends right here, one great big culm. And then it does have a new shoot coming up, which is about 30 feet high right now, since this was just planted in the spring. So Alana's getting ready to cut some timber bamboo. And you can see some of these are painted with different colors. That says how many years old the culms are. And the different paints tells us when they're 3 years old, they're ready to be cut. And down they go. Sometimes they get stuck. That is a big, beautiful piece of bamboo. So the next stage is to start to trim off the extra pieces. It needs to be aged for a little while and then treated, and it's ready to go. Not that many perennial vegetables also make super high quality timber. This is really a pretty fantastic species to work with. And behind them we have something that seems to me like something out of a fantasy and not a real vegetable. This is the remarkable air potato, which is actually a yam, not a potato, and not a sweet potato like what we call yams in the US, but related to the very large tubered yams, of which there are 60 edible species around the world. They're very important in many tropical climates. And the air potato produces these potatoes on the vine, so you don't have to dig a hole to harvest them. You can just pick them right off. They'll last for, down here, 5 to 6 months in storage, so you can keep eating them for a very long season. And to me, it's just the most remarkable thing, is a carbohydrate tuber that tastes good, that grows on a vine, and you can keep around. The cloud forest is a fascinating place. It's full of incredible biodiversity, tree ferns and orchids, epiphytic bromeliads growing on the trees. And over it all, oaks with the largest acorns you've ever seen, as big as a tennis ball. It's quite something to see. The climate here at Las Cañadas is very humid. We get about 80 inches of rain a year, and yet here we have cactus. This is the nopali cactus, and these young green pads are the part that you eat. Their texture is a little bit like okra and green beans, and I think they taste great. Very, very popular vegetable here in Mexico, and they'll grow anywhere from desert up through zone 8 into very, very humid areas like South Florida. But also, interestingly, in cool and moist areas like this, up and down the northwest, it'll do very well through California. Nopali cactus pads are also very helpful in battling cholesterol. They help to increase the good kind of cholesterol and decrease the bad kind. So not only do they taste good, but they're very, very good for you as well. So that's the end of our time here at Las Cañadas. I think we've seen a lot of species that will do well in the southeast and also all up and down the west coast. We've also seen a model of a site where perennial vegetables are providing a major portion of the food for 30 families who are members of the cooperative here at Las Cañadas. And to me, perhaps most importantly, we've seen a beautiful example of an edible landscape featuring fruits and nuts and ground covers and perennial vegetables, all in a living edible landscape, providing fantastic food with very little work. And that's what it's all about.